Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again for another video tonight. There's a plethora of stuff I want to review today. This video is going to be pretty full of randomness, so let's just go ahead and get started here. So first set I want to be reviewing is Labyrinth of Nightmare. This is a very nostalgic Generation 1 Dual Monsters era set. You guys could probably tell by now the Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh sets are by far my favorites, so I really enjoy dipping into them. So we're just going to go ahead and take a quick peek here. So everyone knows the Last Warrior from Another Planet and Secret Jonah Elf. Pretty good collector cards, always holding great value, especially for the first editions. OCG artwork is just utterly superior to this one, so I don't even mess with this. I personally invest in the OCG prints of this. Maybe one day, now that we have the Lost Art promotional, we'll get the uncensored artwork, but I wouldn't bank on it anytime soon. But I was very surprised that Konami's deciding to bring out Dark Magician Girl. I think that's kind of like a ploy off defensive on COVID-19 to get people back in. That was definitely a big magnet to suck people into stores to start buying to get those promotionals, because that promotional personally is just going to be insane. I've talked about it before. I'll say it again. You guys really want to invest heavily. I think it's going to be very competitive to get the Dark Magician Girl uncensored, but that card is going to be worth crazy cash sooner than later as well. So I love this card. Mage Power is a really great artwork and just a really awesome old school ultra rare. Of course, you got the magic stamp here because this is MRL and not SRL. This is the original set, which is we like to talk about. And first editions are going to be about 21 bones, and they quickly go to 26. Only 2 pages left of this, so very interesting how that works out. Moving along here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, United We Stand also came out of this set, which was another really great super card from the set. Back in the day, I used to call Labyrinth of Nightmare the purple set, so the booster pack itself was actually the purple, so I'd call it the purple pack, double P. And it was pretty great. I've talked about this before, Magic Cylinder, so this is one of the only 2 secret rares. Back in the day, we only got 2 secret rares in these original core booster sets. And this is a phenomenal card. It's not only for burn decks. Like, this just alone is really great, and it's got really cool artwork, and it's got a lot of history, like anime history and just nostalgic history in general, so it's really great. United We Stand is another card I wanted to review really quick. Again, really awesome artwork in this, really great soup up card. Back in the day, we pretty much had Axe of Despair was like the hottest thing back in Metal Raiders, and then when Labyrinth of Nightmare came a few sets later, it kind of just blew that card out of the water. It was just insane. It was really good times. No first editions on the first page, only 3 pages on the market for this, and we don't see first editions on the first pages. First editions are going to be on the last page. They start out at 16 bones, and then they bottom up at almost $40 for the last page as a bottom out. So pretty incredible. Love this card. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of first edition prints of these. I know I have some first editions, maybe like a playset, if that, of each United We Stand and Mage Power, but they're like really old. Like, I don't like ultra rares. I'm not a big fan of ultra rares, but like these old school Gen 1 first edition ultra rares, like, you gotta understand, back in the day, like, ultra rare was the second highest rare you could get. Like, back in the day, secret rares, like, that was like the top of the top. There wasn't anything higher than that. So pulling an ultra rare was really difficult and rare, and it was really exciting. Mask Restrict is really great too. I've kind of dipped into this a couple times, so again, I'm going to kind of turbo through this set, just kind of hit the key points here. But all these cards are really great. I would check out all 3 of these. Torrential Tribute, of course, especially for the first edition, is definitely my favorite print, and it's all its nostalgic glory. Dark Necrophere first gen, super crazy high expensive card for collector's value. Card of safe return. This card's pretty cool. It's super banned. I think it can probably come off maybe if it gets errata, but even the first editions are pretty crazy. One thing I wanted to review really quick was Jar of Greed and Kaiku, because these are super rares and the original prints of these cards. And last time I checked, first edition Jar of Greed, surprisingly enough, were pretty up there. Only 2 pages on the market for this, and only 1 first edition print left, and it's about 11-ish 11, like almost 12 bones. There's only one print left. So if you guys have first editions jar greeds like I do, I have several of these. Like for the longest time, I was just scooping these up because one, I love the artwork, and it's just a generic one for one. It's a little bit slower because it's a trap card, but drawing is just huge for me. I'm really obsessed with turboing through decks and getting to your resources. And when any card in a game has to do correlates with drawing, I think it's definitely something you want to pay attention to and kind of figure out what it's all about. That's just my personal opinion. Kaiku is going to be the next. So this card's really cool, mostly for its secondary effects. So it's got 2 effects, and it's pretty cool. Back in the day, I think maybe it's got a red or something. I could have swore back in the day when I used to play this card, you could remove any type of card, so like traps, magics, whatever you wanted. I think it got changed to only strictly monsters. So I think they watered it down just a little bit. It's still very good, but I think they watered it down a little bit, or maybe I'm just going crazy. I don't know. White Mexican might just be getting old and losing my mind, but more importantly, this effect is really cool. This continuous effect is really great that I feel like now a lot of people like either know about or kind of forget about, which is just a very strong effect in general. Plus its stats is great. It's a spellcaster dark level 4. It's got 1800 attack, which especially back in the day was just phenomenal. And the artwork is pretty solid too. So not only do I believe that this is a collector's card because for the first editions exclusively, particularly just because the set, the nostalgia of the set, how old it is, it's got cool artwork, and it's got an amazing 2 really great effects as well. Unlimiteds are nothing as always, and let's go ahead and see if we can dig through for a first edition. First edition is going to be roughly about 5.5. This is still surprisingly relatively cheap, I think. There's not really a lot of stacks, unfortunately. All these are one-ofs. Then quickly goes up to about 6, and then to about 10, 11. I think there's potential to go up. Now, I mean, granted, this used to be way cheaper back in the day, and people are just starting to kind of clear out these Generation 1 sets for market value. But this is still very much has strong potential to go up from just like everything that I mentioned. Like there was like 4 different keys elements that Kaiku had that makes it just such a great card and a very desirable card in my opinion. Royal Command, this is another classic Floodgate. I believe this is the one for flip effects. Master Restrict was to stop tribute summoning, and then Royal Command stops flip summoning. So these are both really great, like old school Gen 1 Floodgates. First edition prints are definitely collector cards now, and they're worth relatively good value. I'm not really concerned with any of these other cards. Let's go ahead and check out the last page. I'm just reviewing the holo prints in this set. Normally, for like these Gen 1 sets, I go pretty heavily on everything, but just to make it a little bit faster, I'm just doing the holo prints here. So Super through Secret. Fire Princess is going to be next. So I don't remember if there's been like a mad combo in the past where this could be like an OTK or just like a killer burn card. But the artwork is what's so key with this card. So it's got pretty great stats. Fire level 4, Pyro, pretty sweet. But the thing about this card is I really think this is going to be a collector's card. The artwork is just really great. It's really old, really nostalgic, and it's relatively cheap. But it's been going up because people have noticed this. I've been buying this card like crazy for years, and I really believe in this card. This has been something I've been trying to make a collector's value card for quite a while now. And just this and Invader of the Throne, that's kind of like the era of the 2 supers that I really buy heavily from those sets because they've just been so cheap, and I really think that they are going to go up over time. And it's the first edition is about 3+. If you want to factor in shipping, only one-ofs here. Let's go ahead to the last page, and there's not even really stacks. Like the first stack here is about like here. There's a 4 of for roughly around like $4-ish, or 4 if you want to factor in shipping, before factoring shipping or factoring shipping, whatever you want to call it. So pretty great. So nothing too incredibly impressive, but again, like there's not a lot of first editions on the market left, and again, specifically with all collectors, you only want to go first edition specifically with these. Moving on, so this is the ultimate rare version of Saphira, Queen of Dragons. This has amazing artwork. It's an ultimate rare, dawning out a duelist alliance. Of late, I've been kind of going back to my roots and messing around with Perfect Herald and Herald Ultimateness and all this stuff, and just kind of trying to figure out what is like the best flow build. And it's been really fun. I really enjoy it a lot, and it kind of got me kind of thinking about this. This card is an option. People have tried to use it before. I personally don't. I just really appreciate the card for some of these reasons I'm about to tell you right now. It's a dragon. It's not a fairy, so it doesn't really blend too well, I think, with Perfect Herald. But it's, a relatively old, getting there old ultimate rare, and it is a light. It's got some pretty great effects here, and it just got really good artwork. So it's about roughly almost about 9 bones for the unlimiteds, and then about 10 for the first editions, and there's a 4 of here. So I think this is still a very, very affordable. It's actually pretty incredible that there's a 4 stack here, and it's only 10 bones, and it's near mint first edition, which is pretty incredible. So would not be surprised if people scoop that up. Hymn of Light is the ritual card for it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the original prints. Both these are commons. Original one, of course, coming from the same set as the Ritual Monster Duelist Alliance. There's a little secret effect here at the bottom, which is really cool. It's kind of like the same kind of effect of Cyber Angel Ritual. They have this kind of defensive, protective effect here, which is really cool, and it kind of like brings its own merit of like kind of specialty to specifically that card. And I think it's really great because a lot of ritual cards don't kind of have extra stacked effects, so this is pretty cool. This is just a common, of course, so it's really not anything. It's like a dime pretty much all across the board. There's plenty in the market, but I mean, you got to have this if you're going to buy, the other monster. You're going to want to get that, of course. Next card is actually going to be an OCG exclusive as of now. Eventually, I think we may or may not get. Hopefully, we do. This is Light. This is a Lightbringer Lucifer. I don't know exactly what the direct translate of this card, but this is just a simple common in the OCG, and the artwork is fantastic. And I really hope we get this card more specifically because, again, I've been messing around with Heralds, and I wanted to talk about this card specifically because I think it's Advanced Ritual Art. Advanced Ritual Art, of course, you guys send vanilla monsters, normal monsters from your deck to the grave in order to pop this effect off, which is a really great card. And there's only, I think, 3 or 4. There's really not that many. I was trying to find around how many level 6 fairy monsters are in the game, and there's really not. There's not a lot of level 6 vanilla fairies. It's kind of interesting. This is a dark fairy too, so we don't really see dark fairies besides dark lords. Dark lords are really the only archetype that we see that have the dark fairy. But this is the fairy, so it's a fairy level, and it's a level 6, so it's ideal for Herald. And it's got really cool artwork, so I really hope that we get this eventually because this would be cool to kind of mess around and try to tech in a ritual art or two. Ritual art is pretty awesome. There's a dual saga version, dual Eternal 6 version, and that's pretty much all that's really worth anything to me. Other prints are not really desirable in my opinion, so if you guys are into that card, definitely get the Dusa or the DT6 prints. Alright, moving on, Sky Scourge. So there's actually 3 different Sky Scourge monsters, and they're all ultimate rare. Come ultimate rare from Force of Breaker, really old set. Invisible, I believe it's pronounced, is the only one that's really good in my personal opinion. I actually kind of discovered this card because I was researching fairy stuff for my Heralds, and I think Scar has got a pretty cool effect. For what it is, it's just a floodgate, and it's kind of got a little bit of diversity with here, but it's got really cool artwork. This is a terrible picture. You can't see the artwork at all. It's kind of sounds kind of weird, but this reminds me of kind of like if you guys saw like 101 Dalmatians, that one like Disney video movie from like the 90s. It looks like Cruella de Vil, except like a demon version, but like her hair and like her makeup just kind of reminds me of Cruella DeVille or whatever, but it's kind of strange. She looks super skinny too. She looks like she's like a crack addict or something, but it's got really cool artwork. I really, really like the artwork. This picture definitely does not do it justice. And of course, this is the highest rarity as an ultimate rare. Unlimiteds are about 11, and first edition is 15. And there's only 3 pages left for this card, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Soul of Purity and Light. Unfortunately, these are all commons. Purple set was the original Dawning Lab for Nightmare for the commons. This is just a simple remove one, special it from your hand. Simple light fairy support for any kind of fairy deck. So it's just generically good, I think, for all your fairy needs. And it's got pretty cool artwork too. Not really expensive, of course, because it's all just common. And personally, I would go for the original first editions from Labyrinth of Nightmare, but the Champion Pack 6 ones would be pretty cool. But they definitely wouldn't outbeat the original Prince first edition, personally, for me. All right, really quickly. So the next couple, well, actually the rest of the tabs besides this last one here, I got a little surprise for you guys at the end, is going to be kind of like a little obscure, I guess. So there is, apparently, according to this, there's 99 ultra rare Shonen Jumps. Well, I guess since there's some secrets in here mixed in too. But just really quick, this is all the Shonen Jump magazine promos. And everyone knows that these, for like a while, have been collector's value. Obviously, the settings are set to highest to low. So you can see some that are relatively expensive, and then there's some that are not so expensive. But like all these cards are really cool. Now, I always bag ultra rare. I'm really bad about really dissing ultra rare, but I really do appreciate some ultra rares, and the Shonen Jump magazine promos are definitely amongst them. There's just a lot of cool cards, and like Red Eye's Darkness Metal. I got a few copies of these. This is pretty cool. Exodius the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. This is actually a tech that I use in Shadal's. It's really, really fun. And really quick, I just kind of want to turbo through. I'm not going to specifically go through prices of each individual promo, but I just think that these are really cool. And I know, like, back in the day, I didn't buy very many of these. I think, like, Acid Golem was probably, like, one of the only ones I actually went to a bookstore and got the magazine, opened the magazine, actually pulled out the Acid Golems, because that was kind of one of the only magazines I remember being available when I originally got back in the game. Well, this is really cool. I didn't know Trishula had a fusion monster. Wow, that looks fantastic. But yeah, all these cards are relatively worth pretty good money. Really quickly, I do want to go into Copycat. So Copycat has several common prints, but this is the Ultra Rare Shonen Jump promo, which is pretty cool because it's one of the only affordable holo foils. I think the only other holo foil that we have is a secret rare from, I forget the set, maybe Retro Pack, I think, but it's just ridiculously expensive. And I've wanted secret rares for so long. Yeah, Retro Pack right here. But you look at this card, it's like insanely cheap. This card is so beautiful. I'm definitely somehow, some way, gonna find a way to get these. I'm gonna trade for these. It's way too much money to just drop cash. It's not worth like hundreds of dollars where it's like listed out here. Like there's one, and it's only German, and it's 200 bones. Like please, someone put this on the market because this is just insane. Like no one's gonna pay that. But this is great. This is probably one of my favorite level ones, and the artwork's really great. I love the name, love the effect, and then it's a level 1 spellcaster, so it's really cool. That's definitely my favorite version of that. But there's also some other cool prints. Like I just was previewing, there was the dual terminal one here. Of course, there's the Shonen Jump Ultra magazines, which I was showing you there. And then there's the Dual Terminal 6 Common. I have plenty of these actually. I like the Common one a lot. And I think I think I have one or two of these promos. Is this even in the market really quick? Let's see if there's even any of the Jump Ultras on the market. I really love the artwork so much. I love how like the silliness of the artwork and all that. Really cartoony. So it's interesting. Pretty much all bought out on the secret rare and the ultra rare versions are all bought out. So this is definitely by far one of my favorite Jump ultra rare promos. So just wanted to kind of show that really quick. Let's go back and take a look at the other interesting, colorful cards of the Shonen Jump Ultra promos. Alright, what else have we got here? All the stuff with like Yami Yugi and all the original anime characters has been increasing in value too, and it's all got like, it's cool artwork because it has like the original anime characters. Number 16 has been banned forever. This is an amazing card. This is the highest rarities in Ultra. There's also a 10 super rare version that's significantly cheaper. I really like this secret rare Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I really like the artwork, and of course, normally these come in Ultra formatting, but this is a secret, so that's pretty cool. This Blue Eyes is pretty cool. Of course, Link Karibo. Everyone went like bananas for that card when it first dropped. I remember when I was in Japan when that card dropped, and it was really, really expensive. Same with Apprentice Illusion Magician too. People went pretty bananas for that as well. Stratos is pretty cool. It was crazy when I came unbanned. People went pretty crazy for Summoner Sorceress, and what else? Malefic Stardust Dragon is pretty cool too because that's a Tekken card for Dark Worlds, depending on how you want to make your build. So that's pretty cool. Getting to the end of the line here, Acid Golem. This is a classic one. This is one of the only ones I actually pulled from the magazine myself. Elemental Hero Ocean. This is pretty cool too. And then there's also a what's it called? A dual terminal version. This card, Van Dangalangalang, the Dark Dragon Lord. There's also a secret rare version, which I actually prefer more, but you know, this is kind of cool. Beast King Barbaros. Oh, I used to love running this card back in the day. I played like this beater deck with Skill Drain and Macrocosmos when they're both at 3. And just like this beater deck with like Goblin Attack Force. It was really fun. There's an ultra version of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is, you know, it's kind of like you know, we have the secret rare, so. I think this one's older though, so it's kind of, you know, but the secret rare is just better for sure. And then the last page, some more Meklord stuff, Tragodia. I think that this is extremely underrated in price. This card is still really good. It has like 3 effects. Endless Decay is another one too. I really like this card. So really quick, I'm just going to showcase Endless Decay and Tragodia really quick because I feel like people kind of forget about what these do. I think this is pretty cool. You can pause the video, read this if you want really quick. This card is like nasty cheap. It's like a $quarter, and there's 5 pages on the market. So this is a really cool card. And then really quick, I just want to run through Tragodia. Of course, we have the Ultimate Rare versions, which are really, really nice too. But they're like $40, $50, $60. They're pretty up there for the ultimates, of course, as they should be. But the ultra rares, you know, this isn't just a normal ultra rare. This is specifically from the Shonen Jump magazines, which is, I don't know why I clicked on Malefic Truth Dragon, which are really special because, you know, it's hard to get these, and I don't even remember. Are they still making these? I think you can only like. You have to have a membership, and you have to like, get them sent to you in the mail or something. Like, I don't really remember exactly what the formatting is of how you get these. But back in the day, you go to like Barnes and Noble. I think that was a pretty popular place, or like I don't know, like whatever bookstore you had, or like, you know, in your town. These are super cheap. Like, you can pause the video. Like, this card really has 3 effects. They're all really cool. It's a Fiend Dark, and it's got amazing artwork. And these are really cheap. They're like 2 bones, like all across the board. Only 2 pages left, and I don't know. Like, I really like this card a lot. So I just wanted to put a spotlight on it really quick. All right, so moving on. Next is going to be Hobby League. So there's 7 different Hobby League sets, and Hobby League was really cool because it was kind of like, in a way, in my opinion, like Generation 1 of kind of like sneak peek slash tournament promotional stuff. Of course, we had tournament pack and champion pack and all that old stuff, but these were really cool. They were all super rares for the first run. For the first set, there was all super rares. You got Green Kappa, and for a while, like, this card was really cool. It's actually probably becoming a relatively a good what's it called, collector's card, probably. There's not a lot of prints of this. I think this is the highest rarity as a super rare. I'm pretty sure there's all the other prints are just common. And back in the day, this was really good. I mean, now that it has to be specifically face down, it's really not that good. But it has really cool artwork, and back then that was pretty blowout. And it already starts up at 5 bones, and then there's only 2 pages left, and it just trickles up after that. So it's definitely kind of going up there. I'm pretty sure this is only other versions are commons. I don't want to take too much time, so I'm not going to kind of dig through to check all the commons for you guys. So you guys can check that out later if you're interested. Also, of course, King of the Swamp came super rare. Now, we have a plethora of pretty good prints of this, but this is pretty cool on its own merit alone. This is seeing great money. It's starting off at 17 bones right off the bat, and then, you know, doubles all the way up to about 30 plus. Definitely not a lot on the market for this one. I know this comes dual terminal, which is personally my favorite, and I want to say it's either a rare or a common. So there's a common from DT4, original prints from Ancient Sanctuary. super rare from Fusion Enforcers. So yeah, definitely the super rare from Hobby League would be up there, but my personal choice would be the DT4s, which are only a couple bones from what it looks like here. So that'd be my ideal choice. But just wanted to show you guys that. Moving on to the second set. So this is when they changed it up. This is when they switched it to what I like to call, I don't know if this is appropriate terminology. You guys can comment below if you guys know what this is called, but I think it's called Parallel Ultra Rare, because they have the gold lettering, so they're ultra rare cards, but they have like this like prismatic parallel looking, I guess it's more like parallel foiling. We got Sangan, Cyberjar, Heavy Storm, MST. I would say MST would probably be the most popular out of this. I really do like the Cyberjar ones, except Cyberjar comes ultimate rare from Duelist Pack Kaiba, so it kind of like gets debunked from this rarity. But I would say my favorite is definitely MST. Now, Granite and Rotting Captain is really cool too. Now, these are all worth pretty good money, but remember, keep in mind with these weren't, if I remember the story correctly, these weren't manufactured and produced by Konami. So like, I think it was like a Upper Deck exclusive or something, and the cardboard was like a different formula, the cardstock or whatever. So like they're thicker, and these tend to kind of bow a little bit, pretty bad depending on like the environment they're in, if I remember. But they look great, they really do. But I've heard stories about people getting in trouble or DQ from games because these are like significantly thicker than like the normal Konami produced cards, and you can kind of tell like when they're in a sleeve, it kind of like bows the sleeve a little bit, and it's technically, and I mean, you wouldn't get in trouble in your local tournament stores, I don't think, but if you went anything like higher on the echelon, I think it would be a little shady. From Hobby League 3, we got Creature Swap, which is really awesome, and Royal Decree, which is probably my favorite trap card in the game. Like, trap card to stop all trap cards. Dark Hole's pretty cool, too. Really quick, I just want to dip into Royal Decree because this card has been going up insane. Like, there was so many of these in abundance for this long a time. This Hobby League 3 Ultra Parallel, it's already up to 15 bones plus, and it goes all the way up to 200 apparently for PSA stuff. I'm not really into PSA stuff, but if you guys are into PSA stuff, there you go. Yeah, this is pretty much almost completely swept off the market, and this is one of my favorite versions. Honestly, I personally have collected tons and tons of prints of this from this set because I really like it a lot. Of course, you have the Tournament Pack 4 Ultras, which are like the godly, rare, like really expensive, awesome ones. I have a few. I think I have like 9 or 6 of the Tournament Pack 6 Supers, which look really great. And there's a Duelist Saga. All these prints are pretty great. This card's really great. I side 3 of these in almost every single deck I play. I pretty much always have 6 slots reserved for a playset of Twin Twister and a playset of Royal Decree, and I really appreciate this card a lot. From Hobby League 4, we saw Graceful Cherry. This is holding pretty great value. I really love the foiling. Really pops in this. It looks really great. We got Torrential Tribute. And I don't know if these were, I guess they were Ultra Holo. I guess, yeah, they're all Ultra, Parallel Ultra. But definitely from these, the MVPs would definitely go to Graceful Charity and Torrential. From 5, we got a little bit of randomness kind of going on here. I don't really know why they picked these. Definitely weren't the most ideal choices, but these are probably popular archetypes back in the time when this came out. So this is probably one of the worst Hobby League sets, I would say. Wasn't really a big fan of any of those. 6 saw some great cards like Rhoda, Nobleman Crossout, Call the Haunted. This would probably be my favorite one out of this personal set, as well as DD Warrior Lady and Shining Angel. Really great too, but Call the Haunted and DD Warrior Lady would definitely take the cake on this set from Hobby League 6. And then the final set, Hobby League 7. This was kind of weird because they kind of like toned down on the parallel foiling of the art cards. They kind of made them more like ultras, but like they're kind of like almost came off as like really faded, like ultra gold in my opinion. I got Card of Safe Return in there, Grand Mole, Dark Dust. This card brings back a lot of memories. I used to play this in my DD deck. And this is yeah, and this was definitely was one of the worst sets though. I really did not like how the foiling came out on this set. They like watered down the parallel. So this was the last thing I wanted to talk about tonight in this video. So the 20th anniversary set. This was exclusively released in the OCG in Japan, and I was actually living in Japan when this was released back in 2018, and I invested relatively heavy in this. I got plenty of these, sealed, and they're all at my house, all packed away. And I remember being on official Konami's site and them announcing that we were gonna get the same treatment. We were basically gonna get the same product. There's gonna be a few alterations, of course, because we didn't get like the sets like this, and we didn't have like 20th Secret Rare or anything like that available to us. But this was a really great product, and again, like I thought this was something like that would be great to invest in. The mat's my favorite. I really love the mat. I really wish they made like the artwork, like the whole like dimensions of the mat. I really wish that they didn't leave like this top and bottom blank, but really great artwork. And just really cool. It's like all the different cards throughout the ages. Don't really care much about the promo or the packs, but this was the biggest reason why I wanted to invest in this. The sleeves and deck box are pretty cool too because they're like kind of like a gold secret looking reflection. All really cool. I thought this was a really cool set. This was like a really special thing, and everyone went like nuts for this in Japan when it was first released a couple of years back. But we never got it, so I really thought that we were gonna get it, and I thought it would have been really cool. I'm kind of happy we didn't get it because it makes the ones that I bought from Japan more valuable now because now it's kind of like just an OCG exclusive. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I thought this was a really cool set. So like let me know like if you guys bought this too. I bought mine personally off of Japanese Amazon. This is what it looks like right here. I actually have a really good friend. Her name's Ayaka. She's really beautiful and amazing, and she's fully Japanese. And she actually helped me basically do like a slick transaction to invest heavily in this set, and I was really happy about that. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. This has been a showcasing by the White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.